from that position of Minister of Home Affairs, I recall that he has played a number of important roles that we will remember him. For instance, speaking as parliamentarians, we will recall that it is under his leadership as Minister of Home Affairs that there were consistent challenges relating to members of parliament interacting with their electorates and police coming to ask them whether they had notified the police about those meetings. And this was following the untimely demise of late President Michael Sata as a candidate, for the Patriotic Front in the ensuing presidential by-elections. He actually came to Parliament and spoke to some members of Parliament who were close to him. And I would like to indicate here, Hope, that I'm privileged to have been one of those who was very close to him because of the relationship we enjoyed from way back before we went into Parliament, that even when we were at Parliament, we maintained that close alumni, notwithstanding that we actually belonged to different political parties and that we were pursuing different policies for national development. So when he came to Parliament as a candidate for those ensuing, then I cannot take up the position you are offering me to serve as minister under your administration. But what I will do is that I will be a fearless critic to your policies so that you can succeed. Because for the country to benefit, you need a functioning opposition that is going to provide credible checks and balances. And that is why you see that during his whole tenure, some of us enjoyed unfettered freedom to critique the policies of government under his administration, because we were simply playing members of parliament that we are mere political competitors and not enemies, and that the friendship we enjoy out there at parliament, in committee work and elsewhere, we must be able to resonate this to our supporters so that they know that if leaders are friends, they also need to be friends, so that when we are in various situations of interaction, such as in by-elections, it should not be a life and death situation. No, we are one people.
All right. So it's good to know that you had that type of a relationship with him, and having said all that about him, how should citizens mourn and pay their respects to Mr. Lungu, considering his service to the nation?
Well, we think that former President Edgar Lungu deserves a befitting, dignified send-off, because this was a president for Zambia. And when you are a president, regardless of the political party that has ushered you into the presidency, you are a president for all. And that is why, as government, we are so grateful to all those where you lose a beloved one, someone who is close to you, someone you used to live with as a family member, someone you used to live with as a political, ally doing politics together. You can't expect that people will react in a particular predicted way. They will and are bound to react in a diversity of manners, the same way it happens at every funeral out there, except that this particular funeral is different because it is at national level scale, if not international level scale, because we are talking about a former president for the Republic of Zambia who has represented this country here locally and abroad.
Yeah, and I'm happy you've said that, because my next question was going to be, what sets this state funeral apart from others, and what does it take to hold a state funeral for a former head of state?
Well, this particular funeral, in terms of being a state funeral, yes, we cherish peace, unity, and love for one another, even in diversity. So, we want, as government, to expect that our, outfit, or in terms of how we shall come out tomorrow, should reflect the one Zambia, one nation status. We are one people. So, in mourning, just like even in ordinary life, we remain a one people. And so, let us, come out to give a befitting and decent reception for the remains of our former president. And going forward, the government of the Republic of Zambia would like to assure the nation that we shall continue under the able leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema to espouse a policy of governance anchored on openness and consultations and reconciliation, that after the nation has put to rest its 60th president, that should not be the last time we talk about reconciliation and or unity and peace, but that such should be the going concern of how we govern ourselves. And as government, we would like to indicate that with the guidance of President Hakainde Hichilema, the government will render all relevant and necessary support to the bereaved family during these trying moments and afterwards, to ensure a smooth transition into this uncharted new territory of where they are now going to live without their beloved one.
And well, when faced with a time like this, I mean, you're touching on unity, you're touching on peace, and even in the president's last address, we did hear him, state that clearly, that what we need when we're faced with a time
I would like to indicate that the church a lot of donations went down because
that's why, for those that are saying you should have spoken.
And consensus. So that matter went to court, and the court made a ruling in terms of public interest taking precedence over private interests, given the stature of the person that was being brought for determination by the courts over how
ni lesson kuti moyo ti politics CNMTI ni game mwani bora rungu ni politics kuti muno muzamya EI.
Okay, all right, Zikom around time. Zikom. All right, you can take those up, those finishes, and go man for some time.
Thank you. Thank you so much, moderator, and to the two callers. And that is why I went to the extent of highlighting our interactions with the former president and how, as members of parliament, we have a duty to extend the friendship we enjoy at parliament during committee to the ordinary citizens. Would you believe this, I hope, that 2 weeks before the general elections of 2021, myself and the MP for Bwenga, Honorable Cheroka Sauta, performed a trip. For 2 weeks we were campaigning in Northern Province. And each constituency where we went, the sitting MP of that constituency, we called him to say we are coming to campaign there. We are campaigning for a party. And you won't even believe it, that in most places where we went, and I'll give an example. Tili bwino muli bwanji?
Bwino abane bamugwa kwa batumira kwa ndefu.
Alright. Okay.
Bwera ku topic mwekwa ile ya mikirani.
That we stay away from any shady area of controversy, because as you would imagine, in ordinary parlance or ordinary life, if someone mentions police and you know that should be all about. It